around. Welcome to our next Halloween challenge. Today, again, we're going to be using a pumpkin because why not? It's Halloween. And we're going to be teaching a different skill on the pumpkin today. This is going to be go around the pumpkin. So your dog traveling up to the pumpkin, going around it and returning to you. Again, if you can start us on a pumpkin straight away, you could start off with a different object that's a bit more obvious because it's quite small and it may be that your dog struggles. So eventually the only way to do it around a pumpkin, but we can start off with an object that is a little bit easier to go around rather than jumping over the top of, for example. So you've got your cone, you have your dog, you need some treats in your hand. Now Rem is good at this, so he may find it really hard to go back to basics. You're going to lure, so keep the treat really close to your nose, your dog's nose. Encourage them to lick and nibble as you reach up towards the cone, come all the way around, click as they come around the cone and throw the treat away. We want them to get to the object and then go backwards. And that's why we lure them all the way around so their shoulders are coming. That's the point we click so they finish going round it and we throw away because eventually we want them to travel back to us quite quickly when they go to the cone. Again, Rem is now starting to off this behaviour because he knows it quite well. So we're going to do that a few times, keep the treat really close to their nose, guide them around, mark and reward. Personally, I always use the same hand that my dog is on, side that the dog's on, to lure them round, and that's their cue. If you prefer doing it the other way, that's absolutely fine. You go all the way around, click and throw. So now, when you practice this quite a few times, we're going to take away that food lure so your hand is empty. Get your dog on the side. We're still going to stay quite close, and we're just going to use that hand in exactly the same way, just without a treat in it. We then mark as they turn round and throw the treat away. This side, please. Good boy. Again, we're keeping that hand quite close to them, so it's no different when we've got the treat in it. We just mark and reward. Each time they succeed, take a small step away from the item and just point your hand towards. If they find it a bit harder, step closer. If they're finding it easy, step further away. It may be that you mix this up so that you don't always get harder, even if they're succeeding. Every now and again, throw in a really easy one if they can't possibly get wrong, because it's nice if things don't always get harder. If, when you put your cue out, they go short and go in front, again, just take a step forward. You don't have to say any words unless you want to. I just say around, and I use the same cue for both directions, but that's because I use my hand as the which way I'd like you to go around it. Some people have a different word for each direction, and again, that's personal preference. Something I often see people do is just throw their hand up and put it back down again. Obviously, Rem likes this, so he's going to do it. But often if you put your hand out and put it down, they will stop and go, I don't know what you mean. So keep your hand out until they get all the way to the cone and round. And think about your body as well, because sometimes we step forward and our body leaning is actually giving them a really nice cue and just guiding them in the direction we'd like them to do. And again, if they're succeeding, take a step back. As you can see, Rem is going both ways because he likes to go both ways. Personally, I would practice one way first, so they're always going the same way. Once they've kind of mastered that, then go the opposite way. And once they know both ways separately, then we can mix it up like I'm doing here. When they're happy doing this without a treat lure, on your hand gesture, and they're enjoying it, that's when I'd add in the pumpkin. Just remember that it's going to be harder when we add in the pumpkin. There isn't as height to go round, so it's easy to go over the top of something instead. So we will just go straight back to basics. So again, once we've introduced our skill on an easier object like a cone, we're then going to bring in our pumpkin. It's harder because it's lower to the ground, it's less obvious, and it's easy to just jump over the top of it. So again, we want to make it a little bit easier to go back a few steps to reintroduce this skill. It means exactly the same thing, it's just with this new object. So when your dog's ready, you're going to get their attention and go back to having your treat lure. You ready? And just guiding them around the pumpkin, marking and rewarding. You're going to go back that way? Okay. And again, you may start to see them offering this behaviour to you. Obviously, Rem knows what he's doing with this, and he's done quite a few pattern games in the past. So now he's like, I'll just go back and forth. but we do want to introduce that cue. It might be that you have to go right back to basics, keep that treat right by their nose and encourage them round. It may not. And again, gradually, once they've got used to the idea, you can phase the treat out again and just use your hand cue as a gesture, and then gradually take more and more, you forgot that bit, gradually take more and more steps away from your pumpkin to increase the distance so it looks a little bit more impressive. Good boy. Another thing you could do to make this a bit more exciting, I've obviously got one pumpkin. You could have 2 or 3 pumpkins and start to make a little bit of a pattern. Go to whichever pumpkin I point to. So if you had another pumpkin over here, another pumpkin over there, if whichever one is the one I tell you the direction to go of, that's the pumpkin you go around. If you wanted to make it a little bit more challenging.